Hello, everyone. Sorry for the slight delay. As you may imagine, things can get pretty crazy while we're in the office, but I'm here. Welcome to Exercise with Exos. Got a good workout plan for us. We're spelling out autumn today. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with our demos here. And we're going to start off with our bent over A's. So we're going to have our feet hip width apart, pushing those hips back, hands in front, coming all the way up to the side, back down. So then from the back side, we're gonna be here, squeezing the armpits back down. So that's our first movement. And then after that, we're gonna get on the ground and we're gonna do V-ups. Oh my gosh, my mat's over there, but that's okay. So we're gonna do V-ups here. So we're gonna have our arms and legs extended, come up, touch the toes, back down, keeping that belly button into the ground, using the core. And then we're going to get on up and we're going to do some bent over T's. So similar to those A's, we're going to push those hips back, bring our arms all the way out to the side, making sure our pinkies are towards the ceiling. So we want to aim like we're punching the ceiling with our arms. So we're using the backs of our shoulders to make that T and then back down. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a squat, but we're going to duck under. So with that, all right, guys, I'm trying to the lighting is not too hot right now. Okay, maybe it's a little bit. So we're gonna do squat unders. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start on one side. We're going to squat and duck as if we're going under, stand back up, and then down and under. So that's gonna be our next movement. And then after that, we're gonna do some marches, but with this, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 3 marches. We're gonna hold the third one for 3 seconds. So we're gonna have that leg up. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, hold for 3 seconds, and then 1, 2, 3, hold on the other side. So making sure we're keeping that core nice and tight as we're holding here. We don't really wanna feel that in our hips. We wanna feel that in the core. And then the last thing we're gonna do are narrow squats. We're gonna have our feet closer together than hip width, bringing those inside part of the knee past the toe, stand back up. So our chest is gonna be up, so we're squeezing our orange between our shoulder blades, squatting down, pushing the ground away, coming back up. So that is gonna be our whole workout for today. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with our warm up. We're gonna go ahead and do the world's greatest stretch. We're gonna start in the top of our space here. We're gonna take a nice big deep breath, interlace our fingers, grab onto the knee, pull the knee towards the chest. Nice big deep breath, and we're gonna exhale, step back into our reverse lunge. Hands on the inside of the front leg, keeping that back leg nice and straight. We're gonna take a nice big deep breath, and on the exhale, we're gonna open up towards our front leg, gazing past our thumb, keeping that back leg nice and straight still. Nice big deep breath on the exhale. We're gonna plant that hand on the outside of the front foot, push ourselves up into our hamstring stretch. Nice big deep breath, and we're gonna bring the left foot next to the right foot and stand on up. Wonderful. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do that same thing on the other side. So let's interlace our fingers, grab onto our opposite knee, pulling towards our chest. And we're gonna exhale, step back into that reverse lunge, hands on the inside of our front leg. Keeping that back leg nice and straight, nice big deep breath. We're gonna exhale, bring that hand towards the ceiling, gazing past our thumb. Nice big deep belly breath. On the exhale, plant that hand on the outside of our front foot, push ourselves up into our hamstring stretch. Nice big deep belly breath, and on the exhale, bring the left foot next to the right foot and stand on up. Awesome. All right, next part of our warm up here, we're gonna get on the ground on our hands and knees, and we're gonna do a little bit of rotation through our spine here. So warming up our arms and our back and our spine a little bit. So we're gonna take a nice big deep inhale as we reach through right arm between the left leg and left arm. And then we're gonna exhale, opening up towards the ceiling, gazing past the thumb, and inhaling, reaching through. And exhaling, opening up. And one more, inhaling, reaching through. And exhaling, opening up. And we can go ahead and plant that hand under the shoulder. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So inhale, reach through. And exhale, opening up. And inhale and reaching through. And exhale, opening up. And last one, inhale, reach through. And exhale, opening up. And go ahead and plant that hand under our shoulder. And we're ready to rock and roll. So we're gonna start in standing. We're gonna do 3 rounds here, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest or transition time. And there's a slight chance that I may need to be pulled out during the middle of this to deal with something. So if that happens, you guys will have Quinn come in. He's our new health fitness specialist. So that'll be a good time if that does happen. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna do 3 rounds here, get the timer ready, starting with our bent over A's. 3, 2, 1, and go. So we're gonna have our feet hip width apart, push those hips back, arms in front, squeeze through the armpits all the way up and back down. So keeping our pinkies towards the ceiling. Want to make sure that we're pushing those hips back far enough. We don't want to be super far forward with our body. That's going to put that pressure on our low back. So we're exhaling, coming up, squeezing, keeping our shoulder blades pinned together. So we're squeezing that orange. And then I like to imagine that we have a piece of paper here that we're not letting fall from in between our arm and our body. So that's kind of what we want to act like what we're doing when we're bringing those arms up. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. My back is sore from yesterday. We got a good workout in. All right. On the ground next, we have V-ups. This way. Outstretched all the way open. 3, 2, 1. So we're outstretched. Exhale, touch the toes and back down. Only go down as low as we can without that low back coming off the ground. So for me, that is my limit. Making sure that we're keeping that core engaged. So before we even lift those legs up, we want to make sure that our core is engaged. So act like someone is going to punch you in the stomach so that core is engaged. And then we exhale, raising our feet towards our hands and back down. We're nice and slow, really engaging the core here. 3, 2, 1. All right, great job. Our abs are going to be nice and warmed up if you're coming to abs and core later. All right, next up we have our bent over T's. So very similar to our first movement, our bent over A's. This time we're coming out to the side. All right, 3, 2, 1. Push those hips back. Arms are coming straight out to the side and back down. So really trying to keep our chest as parallel with the ground as we can, because the more upright we are, the more it's going to work the tops of our shoulders versus the back. So this is meant to really focus on our rear deltoids, which is the back half of our shoulders, as well as our shoulder blades and a little bit into the lats here. And this one's really great for posture. So that's why I love doing this. It can help us offset some shoulder pain too. If you do have shoulder pain, strengthening the back will help. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our squat unders. So we're going to step out, squat like we're going underneath a bar. 3, 2, 1. We have 2 U's in autumn, made it a little bit more challenging to come up with movements that start with U that are not weighted. There are only a few that I could think of that were weighted. I was like, we don't have weights in this class. Definitely made a new challenge. So we're squatting over to the side like we're ducking underneath a bar. So we're stepping out. We don't have to step too far out, just enough for us to duck and move under. So we should feel our weight shift as we move over to the side. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right. Next up, we have our marches. So we're gonna do 3 marches. We're gonna hold that march on the last one. 3, 2, 1. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, hold, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3. So this one, working a little bit on, we want our isometric hold here, really focusing on keeping that knee up, using the core, so core is engaged, making sure we're punch, punch, punch off the ground, getting those knees up as high as we can throughout the whole march. All over the place today. Still trying to find a good setup in here. Bear with me. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have narrow squats. So we're gonna have our feet closer than hip width. So they don't have to be completely touching, but normally our feet are here under our hips. So we want to be a little bit more narrow than that. 3, 2, 1. So still pinching that orange behind between our shoulder blades. Come down, knees over the second toe. Squeeze those glutes and come back up. Really important, we want to bring the butt to the belly button. Lock that in so our low back is not arched. So I'm gonna be nice and tight here, locking in that core. So that's why, you know, classes like abs and core will help with our form for our lifts. So like squats, deadlifts, all of that is a lot of core work. So really having a strong, nice, tight core will help us keep that position we need to for these certain movements here. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, that is round 1. We got 2 more to go. So we're gonna start off with our bent over A's first. 3, 2, 1. So hips, feet are back to hip width, push our hips back, squeeze through the armpits like someone, or like you're holding a sheet of paper or a whole folder worth of papers. I don't know why my elbows were bent right there. So we're keep those arms straight. Don't know what I was doing. Making sure our weight is staying back. So we're sinking into our hips. So our glutes are holding the weight here, not our back. Keeping those pinkies up towards the ceiling. So drive the elbows, squeeze the armpits. 3, 2, 1. Great job, everyone. All right. Next up, we're on the ground. We have our V-ups. It's going to be outstretched, all the way open. Wait a little bit. 3, 2, 1. So arms and legs here. Exhale, come up. So lock in the core before we even move the legs. So we're going to help us take our hips out of it, take the low backs out of it. Great job. So we're going to have nice, already worked cores by the time we get to abs and core a little bit later today. Great job. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right, great job, y'all. Next up, we have our bent over T's. We're gonna stand on up, similar to what we started with. Push those hips back. We're making a T with our arms. 3, 2, 1. So we're gonna have our feet hip width apart. Push those hips back. We're closing that door. Pinkies up. So if you notice when I'm coming out, move a little closer here, my pinkies are towards the ceiling. We don't want the hand or the thumb. So the pinkies are going to activate the backs of our shoulders a little bit more. So we really want to be here, drive up. So we want to act like we got a plane of glass on our back. We're breaking that glass every time we raise that elbow up. So exhale, break that glass. Really keeping our shoulder blades pulled down and back. So we're squeezing that orange between our shoulders, lifting straight up. 3, 2, 1. Great job. All right, next up, we have our squat unders. So moving side to side like we're ducking under a long bar. We can act like we're doing the limbo, but we're not going back, we're just going under. 3, 2, 1. That would be a fun challenge. We'll do some limbo in the atrium one day. That could be fun. And whoever can squat, go under the lowest width, win a prize. That could work. Making sure that when we step out, we are keeping that whole foot on the ground. So heel, big toe, little toe, pushing off. We are getting a little bit of a single leg exercise because as we stand up, we are just using that leg that has stepped out. So it's kind of like a mix between a side lunge and a squat, which are very similar movements in general. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right. Next up, we have our marches with a 3-second hold. So we're going to march 3 times, hold, and then repeat. 3, 2, 1. So we're going to have our knee up. 1, 2, 3. Holding. And 1, 2, 3. And then hold for 3 seconds. Holding 2, 3. Hold again. 1, 2, 3. It's really important to keep that core engaged because our hips are going to get a little tired from being held in this position. So it's really going to help us to teach us to activate our core, to keep our balance, to also keep our legs up. We're still doing opposite arm, opposite legs. We're hammering those legs. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last up, we have our narrow squats. Then we're going to go through that one more time. And then we're going to do our little cool down. And then we'll get on with the rest of our day. 3, 2, 1. So feet narrower than hip width. Bring those hips down and back. This one, because our feet are closer, the way that we're going to get into that position is our weight is going to be a little bit more forward. So instead of like a normal squat where like chest is back a little bit more, when we have a more narrow squat, our chest is going to be a little bit more forward. I don't know if you can see the difference between those two, but that means that we're going to activate our quads a little bit more than we would for a normal or regular squat where our feet are hip width. So focusing, pushing the ground away. So we got heel, big toe, little toe. As we stand up, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, we got one more round to go. Starting off with our bent over A's, and then we'll cool down. 3, 2, 1. So we got our hips pushing back, keeping that chest as parallel with the ground as we can, but our hips are back. We're not leaning forward here. So sink in those hips. Let's just go backwards. Keep that core engaged. Squeeze through the armpits as we lift our arms up, keeping those shoulder blades, squeezing that orange. My back is very sore today. That's what happens when the gym is open again. We can lift heavier weights than what I've had. Now I'm sore again. 3, 2, 1. All right. We're done with those for the day. Next up, we have our V-ups. We're getting on the ground, on our backs, all the way outstretched. 3, 2, 1. So all the way out and open. Keep that core engaged. So engage the core, lock it in. Use the core to lift the legs and back down. Bring it up. Touch those toes. Keep the low back pushed into the ground as we bring those legs back up. Great job. Got a few more to go here. Keep pushing through. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right, done with those for the day. Get a nice little check mark. And next up, we have our bent over T's. So pushing those hips back, bringing our arms straight out. 3, 2, 1. So same thing, keeping the weight in our glutes, keeping our shoulder blades. So our shoulder blades are squeezing that orange. We're coming all the way up and back down. Great job. Making sure we go nice and slow to really activate the proper muscles. I always say this every time. Probably getting so sick of me saying the same things. Want to practice intent, right? What muscles are we intending to use here? Our back and our shoulders. So making sure we're moving our arms using those intended muscles. That's how we get the most out of these workouts. 3, 2, 1. All right, next up we have our squat unders. So we're gonna do that. And then we have our marches and then narrow squats. We're gonna be done. 3, 2, 1. So we're gonna step out, duck under, back up. This one, we're going as low as we can. So that's why we don't have to step out super far, because normally if we do a squat super wide, we can't get as low. So we wanna make sure we're not stepping too far out, or stepping far out enough where we can do our squat and duck under and move over to the other side. Great job. Do a few more here. We're ducking under. I'm pretty sure that if there's a bar here, my bun would not be able to clear that. 3, 2, 1. All right, next up, last one, we have our narrow squats. We're gonna have our feet together. Oh wait, I'm just kidding, no we're not. We're doing our marches first. 3, 2, 1. I almost forgot it, but I did it. I knew something wasn't right because the timing would not be right for us to end already. So we have marches, 3, and then stepping, keeping our balance. 1, 2, 3. Great job. 1, 2, 3. So we're driving our feet through the ground, punch the ground away, hold for a few seconds. Great job. We're almost there. We've got a few more left. 3, 2, 1. All right, last movement of the class. We have our narrow squat. So we're gonna have our feet closer than hip width here. 3, 2, 1. Feet close together here, coming down, back up. So still making sure our chest is staying open. So wear your logo proud. So I got Exos on my chest. Wear that logo proud, stand back up. Try and not do what I just did there. But making sure the inside part of the knee is right over the second toe. Push the ground away, heel big to little toe. Coming up. Push the ground away. Great job. Got a few more, finish strong here. 3, 2, 1, and that is going to be it for class today. Nice job, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and do a quick little cool down. And we're gonna start off with, actually, we're probably only gonna have time to do one cool down here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our quadruped rocks with that adductor stretch. And we're gonna reach through. So that's gonna stretch out our back a little bit more too. So we're gonna open up the hips, the legs, and our back. So I'm gonna start with my right leg out to the side. I'm gonna reach through with my right arm. So we're gonna inhale, rock back. And exhale, reach through, gaze past that hand. And plant and return. We're gonna do 2 more, inhale, rock back. Exhale, reach through. And returning. And great job, everyone. Last one, inhale, rock back. And exhale, reach through. Great job. When we're done with that last one, we're gonna go ahead and do that same thing on the other side. So I'm gonna stick my left leg out to the side this time. Keeping my hips flat, keep that pinky toe on the ground. We're gonna inhale, rock back. And exhale, reach through. And plant and return. 2 more, inhale, rock back. And exhale, reach through. And plant and return. And last one, inhale, rock back. And exhale, reach through. And once we finish that last one, go ahead. You can feel free to stay on the ground. You can do a few more if you'd like, but I think that's going to be all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Now I feel like that was a little bit of a rush class and I was a little behind today, but that's okay. We're all here. We did the workout. We did the thing. We do have abs and core coming up later tonight at 4 with me, and then we got dance coming up with John right now at 12:30. Untitled dance class, and then tomorrow is Friday, so we got Functional Fitness Friday at 12 with me. We got Sports Performance and Mindset Reset with Jonathan at 7. And then as a reminder, we don't have any classes next Friday. So that will be a nice little break for all of us. But you can always check out our YouTube channel, do some past recorded classes if you would like to kind of get those workouts in on the weekend or the days that we aren't having classes. So it will come in helpful with those weeks of rest. So great job, everyone. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you